Jesus Christ. Who could have predicted that? Who could have predicted that? And what a result that was. 5-0 to Sunderland at the Sage Mark this evening against Cheltenham. And welcome to the Sunderland versus Cheltenham match review. So, as I've just mentioned, 5-0 against Cheltenham, which was absolutely mad. Really didn't expect it. We used such a mixed lineup as well. We put in several different players from the previous game, tried out a few different heads and a different system as well. And my God, did it pay off. And some of the performances from those lads this evening, individually and as a collective, were just absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, I have to say as well, I expected a lot more from Cheltenham because, if I'm going to be completely honest, that's probably the worst side, or at least the worst performance we've come up against this season, but by a country mile. You know, and that's not any disrespect to them because I know that they can play a hell of a lot better than that. But they were, Jesus Christ, they were poor. They were really, really poor. But going into the review, so we started off with Hoffman in goal. Huggins started at left back for Cirkin, who of course had a bit of a knock on his head in the previous game. We had Bailey Wright alongside Flanagan. Of course, Doyle picked up a bit of a knock as well in the last game, or he had a bit of a niggle with his back, I believe. Right back, we had Winchester. In the middle, Evans started in place of Neil alongside Luke O'Nien. Then on one side, we had Aidan McGeady, we had Aidan O'Brien on the other. And then up top, we had Broadhead and Ross Stewart. Now, getting into the game, first sort of couple of minutes, we got a free kick about 30 yards out. We tried to take it quickly, went straight through to Aidan O'Brien. He's put it in the back of the net. I thought it should have stood, really, but the referee's brought it back too quick for his liking, which, you know, I thought, oh, God, I hope it's not one of those days. But they had one or two sort of little moments, not chances. I'm not going to say they made chances because they didn't. They just pumped the ball forward a couple of times and they've got the big lad up top. It's just pure physicality. And they did ruffle some feathers in our area a couple of times in the opening 5. But then other than that, after that 5 minutes, nothing. Absolutely nothing from them. It was just pure control in our favour. We were making chance after chance after chance. We had one chance where Winchester, it was an inch perfect ball over the top to Broadhead. He's got him behind his man. He did so many times tonight where Broadhead, he was squeezing, he was getting in the gap between the two centre-backs, and the ball, the diagonal ball that's coming over to him, he was getting the ball, he's bringing it down, it was just so inch perfect. His movement after the ball was just something we haven't really seen, and it was always inch perfect, you know, and his touch is so good. So anyway, yes, this chance, Winchester puts the ball over the top, diagonal ball over to Broadhead, one-on-one with the keeper, takes him on, but after he's taken him on, his touch is kind of taken him away from goal a bit too much, but then he's managed to keep his head, keep composed, he's played it across goal. There's Ross Stewart, he has a goal at his mercy. They have a centre-back stood in the middle of the goal, but he could go left or right, either way. And unfortunately, he hits it straight at the defender who gets it away for a corner, deflects it away. So at that point, again, I'm thinking, it's not our day. But from the following corner, the ball is whipped in, and there is Bailey Wright, who, you know, it hasn't been great performance-wise for me for quite some time. But tonight, of course, I'm going to have to say he was brilliant, but he also got his goal. He rose like a salmon, and he's nodded it into the far corner. He come across the near post, he's nodded it to the far corner. It's a brilliant header, an excellent header from Bailey. You know, he deserved it because he was decent up until that point, and he was for the remainder of the game, like I say. 1-0, absolutely what we deserve. And not too long later, we did get our second goal, and it was absolutely gorgeous football. It really was. Some of the passing and the movement tonight was absolutely insane. I'm probably going to just describe the goals rather than all the highlights because there were too many. There really was. Some of the passing movement was absolutely ridiculous. I'll say, you know, Huggins on the left-hand side, who looked a little bit shaky at times against Bolton when he did come on last weekend, but tonight he was absolutely excellent. He was intercepting everything that was coming down his side, made some good challenges, but going forward, some of his interchange in play, you know, with the actual Luke O'Nien and Evans, you know, little 1-2s and triangles and breaking forward, linking up with Geeds. He was excellent. So I just wanted to put that on record as well. But for this second goal, Winchester had it on the right-hand side. He tried to flick it inside to Broadhead, who was making his way into the box just inside the area. But Broadhead so cleverly lets it run across him. He's kind of dummied it and let it go through. It's found its way all the way through to Ross Stewart at the far post, who tucks it past the keeper to make it 2-0. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. It really is. Everything was just gelling so well for the lads. And even though we're just kind of not chucking plays together, should I say, but there was a lot of changes in this lineup and the system's different, but everything was just going our way. And, you know, for their back line, it was very quickly, you could notice it very quickly, their back line of Cheltenham, I don't know whether they're aging or what, but they were so unbelievably slow, and all we had to do was constantly play diagonal balls over the top, and Broadhead was in behind every single time. Ross Stewart was in behind, O'Brien on the far side with Geeds on the other. It was just constantly, you know, ball over the top and one-on-one, and that was it. And they were just miles behind. They were absolutely shocking. It has to be said, there was no pace at all, and there just seemed to be no organisation within that Cheltenham back line. I think it's a mixture of us being good, but also those being bad. So, I need to give it, both ways. I don't want to just sit here and say we're absolutely amazing, we're absolutely class. Like I said, some of the football was beautiful, it was lovely, but, some of the defending was utterly shocking. But then the third, it starts off with Broadhead again. He picks up the ball in the final third. He turns his man brilliantly, and he's done this dink inside pass, a reverse pass to McGeady. It's absolutely inch perfect. It is a brilliant ball to McGeady. He's got it towards the byline. Geeds puts it back across goal, and there is Ross Stewart to tap into what is pretty much an empty net. 3-0 again, and it's Broadhead who's at the centre of it. Even though, I'm not even halfway through the review yet, really, or I'm about halfway through, but I'm only to let you know that Broadhead is my man of the match. And somehow, it's a crime that man didn't score. He deserved to score. He could have scored a good 2 or 3 goals. He should have done probably a lot better with certain chances, but he absolutely ran the show in behind. Like I was saying, all he was put a diagonal ball, and he was getting to everything. He was bullying their defenders. His pace was on another level to theirs. He was just creating. He was so unselfish. He was going for goal at the right time, just their keeper, or the little things just weren't quite going his way in terms of the ball hitting the back of the net. But he was working so hard, and he was non-stop, that lad. Absolutely non-stop. But yeah, 3-0 at half-time. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, please don't just come out and just sit back like we've seen time and time again. When we do get ourselves in the lead, let's try and push it. Because at this point, Wigan were losing. I think they have lost tonight as well, thanks to a Max Parron goal. But I was thinking, even just for goal difference, just keep going. Don't sit back, because we could end up conceding, which again would ruin goal difference. And, let's just give us something to really boost the lads' morale and motivation going into the weekend. Because, of course, we have a massive game this weekend. We have a string of away games. So let's leave this game at the Stadium Light on a massive high. And we come out, and, the opening 5 minutes, to be fair, we were very sluggish. The tempo had dropped significantly. And I thought, oh, shit, here we go. We're seeing this every game. But then we picked it up again, and in style as well. Ball comes over from the right-hand side and does come through to Evans, takes his man to the byline, he drills it back, pulls it back to Luke O'Nien, my baby boy, who buries it into the bottom right-hand corner. And now for the 5th, Dietrich does come on, and Pritchard come on as well later on in the game. But Dietrich, who I think he split opinions against Bolton. He did he was one of those players that I did mention in the preview where he likes to take on a man and go back and do it again. It becomes a little bit wasteful and a little bit frustrating. But he was really, really direct, and he really wanted it. You could see he was so hungry when he come on. And he got his just rewards. He managed to get himself a goal. Again, it was Broadhead. Takes on his man. Pretty much one-on-one with the keeper. And he could only just get a toe to the ball. Keeper makes a save. It comes back to Dietrich after the... Sorry, it wasn't the keeper who made the save. It was the defender who got his foot on the ball. But it comes back to Dietrich. And he's a bit of an angle, but he's absolutely buried it into that top left-hand corner. Gorgeous finish. 5-0, we see it out, and it ends up just being like a pedestrian style of football for the remainder of the game. But 5-0, we see it out, and what a performance. It really was truly excellent. It was so good to see the lads, go and get themselves that big win that we wanted to see at the Stadium Light. It's been so tight in games, where we've gone 1-0 up, sometimes maybe 2, but then we just ask for it. Whereas instead of that, we've gone forward and we've asked for more, and now I shall put the league table up in front of my face, and that is why I have a big smile on my face. But yeah, as I say, it was massively important to get a couple of good results against both Bolton and Cheltenham, because we have such a string of games, starting off with a massive one at Fratton Park this weekend. We have a string of away games where it's going to be difficult. So to get our home form sorted, get a bit of form in general, going into these games away from home, it's only going to do good for the lads. And the thing is, which is so good now, we've got players that can just slot in and take over someone else if they're injured, and they're playing just as good. For example, Sirkin, he was replaced by Huggins. He was just as good. Tonight, Bailey Wright, who, like I say, he hasn't been great in terms of his form in recent weeks. So when we have seen him, even the back end of last season, he's come in and he's done a job tonight. He's done really well. Evans has come in instead of Dan Neil. Maybe just tried out something a little bit different. It was very, very assured. Maybe we didn't quite have the energy from the centre to burst forward. O'Nien was trying it, but I do generally prefer Dan Neil. But either way, I'm not going to complain. He's come in and done a job with 1-5-0. Do you know what I mean? O'Brien is so good at his interlink play. He was getting in behind. He ruffles feathers. his movement really occupies defenders, be it full-backs or centre-backs. He gets them out of position, and that leaves the likes of Broadhead to get in behind and really open up the space and the gaps in the middle for him to get in behind. So we just have so many options there, and that's what's so exciting for me at the moment. And it was a completely different system as well, 4-4-2, and we absolutely nailed it. So we have so much to be positive about at the minute. I'm just going to love this one. I'm absolutely going to soak this one up because it's been a cracking performance and result. So my man of the match, as I mentioned earlier, Broadhead. How he didn't get himself a hat-trick, I don't know. But it's mad that we won 5-0. He didn't score, and he's still my man of the match. That's how good he was tonight. He really was absolutely insanely good. 10 out of 10 for me. In fact, no, I'll give him a 9 out of 10. I think it's a bit too much, really, because he didn't score, did he? So, yeah, I'll give it to Broadhead. But you guys let me know what you thought of the game in the comments, and also your man of the match. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It would be massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care. Stay jammy.